Hello, everybody, and welcome. I'm Jessica Abernathy, and with me today is Tricia Montgomery, and you are listening to Pets Are Family. Hi,
Hello, Jessica.
hi, Tricia. My hair's like flying away over there. I'm like, I thought I had it fixed, but apparently no. The back of it's
Well, I think that's okay because I said I forgot to put on makeup this morning, and I think I was pitching my cheeks to give me some color in my cheeks. So I think we are good. We are known for our raw authenticity.
right. It's like, oh well, there you go.
Guys, we just have fun, and we appreciate your feedback and your comments, and keep them coming. By the way, we appreciate you. Um, we're talking about Thanksgiving, but we're also talking about. I sent Jessica a message this morning that guess what toy is the number one toy in the nation for pets.
Is that's bigger
Not
than or not Brutus? It's bigger than Frank. I don't know why.
It's bigger than my head. It's probably bigger than my body. This is lamb chop. This is made by Multi-Pet. And they came out with an article today that talked about that lamb chop is the number one toy in America for dogs. And people, on average, purchase five of these lovely lamb chops per year because dogs destroy them. So this is my third large lammy. My other one is over at the other house. And so because Frank decided to dissect Lammy's face and pull all his stuffing out, and we sewed it up. So this is his brand new lamb chop, which is still intact. And then this is a smaller lamb chop. So we, at our house, have 3 lamb chops for Mr. Frank. But congratulations, Multi-Pet and Lamb Chop. You are the number one toy in the nation. And these guys are so lovable, so cute. And I could just smoosh them. And I think you're going to be getting a lamb chop soon. Is that correct, Jessica?
We're gonna see. I mean, Brutus has not got a lamb chop thing. We have a rainbow unicorn that he loves, and his other very, very, very favorite is a fur folk. That's a scent work toy, but it's a little fur folk. She's got a little afro that we can hide toys in. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
very cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and
Well,
he
I
carries.
know what Frank is getting Brutus for Christmas. So
Oh,
don't buy one. That's coming from Frank, a lamb chop. Again, shout out to you, Multi-Pet. We love you. I love you. Frank loves you. And I'm sure Frank's new brother, Hawk, is going to love you too. Getting another dog addition to the Montgomery household here, which will be lovely. So hold on. Threw that one away. Threw that one away. Okay.
yeah. You're crazy. You're gonna have 2 puppies, man. You're bigger than
Oh
I
my
am.
God. I am going to be a little bit nuts, but you know what? Sometimes just, who said it, Seal? You got to get a little crazy. And what's one more? What's another dog? It's, just like kids, as many as
Well,
possible.
you're
I'm good.
you can potty train in the winter because you don't get cold.
I do
Maybe I'm
not.
not willing. I'm not willing to potty train in the winter here. So I
I
have
do.
Brutus in the studio today, which is AKA the office, which is also the spare bedroom, and he
Yeah.
is currently crawling up, trying to crawl up the wall to get to something right now, and I'm just looking at
Oh
him
my
going,
God.
yeah, I'm
What are
like,
you doing?
yeah, right. I'm
What
like,
are you doing?
I don't
So
know.
I also want to point out, and this is another little puppy thing. I think I showed you all last week where Frank decided that he did not like me being on a conference call, and he decided to let me know it by chewing part of the headset of my iPods. They were still operable at that time. Yesterday I had a 3 p.m. appointment that lasted only about 25 minutes, and I heard him barking, and this is what I found in his mouth, which he had crawled up on top of the couch and gotten to the end table and taken the case to my iPods. AirPods, whatever you want to call them, and I had a few choice words for him, and I'm sure the neighbors heard that too. So anyway, he and I were at a little at odds last night. I think my neighbors must think I'm bonkers because I literally have conversations with Frank, and I'm like, "Do you know what you just did? Do you know? Do you have $199? Do you?"
You might have to give Hawk another name. So you've got Frank and then maybe Henry. So that way they just think that you've got two men in your house. So that way they don't really think you're talking. So if a passerby is like running by your house and walking by, they think that you're just talking to two guys, not like your dogs. So you really rethink that Hawk name. I mean, granted, we know that it's a the Hawk name, it might have to be something else. Seriously.
I will definitely think of that, but I promise you the words that came out of my mouth yesterday, we were so at odds yesterday. I'm like, I am so mad at you right now. I go, do you understand why I'm mad at you? And I'm having this conversation with him like he's an adult and he's just a puppy. And
yeah, two puppies. Remember, you're going to have two puppies.
We talked about this last time, but it's that up and down the leash, and I'm sure Jessica is very kind of even keeled, and I am quite. This is why Jessica and I get along so well. I am like the opposite end of the spectrum. I know you all, to our listening audience, think that I'm super calm. Not. This is why I'm not married and why I can't keep a husband around.
I don't think that's the case. No, sorry.
So if any of our listening audience decides that they want to date me, no, you got a handful. You got a handful.
We go to Pets Our Family, and we're going to help you with your animals. It's going to become a dating podcast next.
Oh my God! Why
I have
not?
a dog.
Why not?
Yep. I have. I'm looking for a dog. Yep.
Why? I would say to you, why not,
Go
Jessica?
get it.
Why not? Yeah, why not? And
Yeah,
and
why
Joe.
not?
Why not?
One dog, two dogs. Let's make it. We'll blend the dog family. That's what we're going to do now. We're going to have a dating podcast on how to blend the family. Do you have cats, dogs, guinea pigs, hermits, rabbits? What do you got? Let's work this out. Monkeys. What do you got? What do we got to work with?
I got to ask you, who can resist this? Really? Come on.
Nobody
come on. Oh my God! I love the laughter. I love you, by the way. So we are talking today about Thanksgiving, and I am giving thanks to you, Jessica, because you're such a light in my life. I talk to you throughout the day, in the morning, first thing that I wake up with in the morning, and well, I don't know, and then and at nighttime.
Usually, the last thing we do at night before we start the day and end the day.
And that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. But I'm so thankful and blessed that you're in my life. We've been through a lot together, and just so thankful for you very much. And we got Thanksgiving coming up, and we want to talk about some things that I know everyone knows all about the stuff that everything's dangerous for our pets and Thanksgiving foods. But we really want to call attention to some things that you may not, as pet parents, be aware of. And, that is, foods to avoid. And, that you've got your basics like the turkey and the bones and the skin. And we know about the splinters. But I am one of those people, just raising my hand here, I have a tendency to feed Frank human food. It's a way of my bond with him. I eat very, very healthy, as salmon, Brussels sprouts, meats, a lot of things like that. We've been on a pretty much of a carnivore diet lately, and love it. Shout out to Dr. Jordan Peterson, by the way, if you're listening to us on Pets or Family Podcast. I love your diet. But we don't often think about, when we're handing in our, what other things that can lead to, and it's everything from pancreatitis to anemia and kidney failure. Let's talk about that, Jess.
Well, we also, I mean, we think that if we can eat it, it's good for us, it's good for them, but they also need
Yeah.
different, nourishment. They need different vitamins. You know what I mean? They need different, they just need different stuff. They need different levels. And we're not nutritionists, we're not dietitians for them. I mean, granted, we can get certified and all that stuff, but
Well,
we
I am
haven't.
certified as a pet. I
Well,
am
you
pet
have.
certified nutrition. I am certified, by the way, guys. I
You
am
are.
a pet certified nutrition coach through VMX, the North American Veterinary Community. So if you have any questions, send them my way. But I'm not a
Well,
veterinarian,
we're
but I am
talking about the
certified in
general
pet
public,
nutrition.
not you, you goofball. We're talking about the general public, you know? Sheesh. Ay, 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 ay. No, but that's what we're
Making it all
saying.
about me. It's all
I
about me.
mean, I'm talking about the general public, you know what I mean? Some of us do our research, some of us don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we have to, make sure that we're giving them the best, you know what I mean? We don't think about the calories in, calories out. We think,
Yeah.
we realize that the calories in on us packs on our butts, our hips, our bellies, you know what I mean? It's same thing on them, calories in, calories out. And, they act like they're being starved to death. That's just the same as us. We act, we beg a lot, don't give in. You give in to your 2-year-old. What happens? They're going to be chunky at 5. You can roll them into kindergarten. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Same thing with the
Believe
little ones. You know what I
we
mean?
know that well. We know that well. And I think the thing about Thanksgiving is, I think that during that time we're cooking more with butters and fats to make that really flavorful. And we're not thinking, you think about buttered mashed potatoes or casseroles, all those are high in fat, and that leads to pancreatitis.
Yeah.
Stuffing, it's easy. I remember last year, I think my sister Karen threw Benny some stuffing. That stuffing has got, onions and garlic, and those are toxic to dogs, and for cats, it can lead to life-threatening anemia and, grapes and raisins, kidney failure. These are all these things that we really don't consider when we're just like, oh, it's just like a bite. Oh, let me just give you a bite. Let me just, and it's our way almost of love that, oh, I love you, so let me give you some food. And when it could be much better to obviously give them a walk. Salt. Think about salt. Salt's going to lead to vomiting, diarrhea, lethargy. The same thing as a ton of salt for us is just not good for us. Chocolate, themobromine, desserts that have xylitol in them, which a lot of people cook with because they think they're being,
Healthy.
calorie conscious, healthy, but it's a harmful sugar substitute. And
Right.
I, I remember, I think it was early on when I had gotten moose, and I was on my way to Paws Humane Society, and I think I had gotten one of those power coffees, and it was one of those ones that a pop top can. And I remember in the car driving to Paws, and I popped the top on it, and it exploded everywhere. Everywhere. I mean, from the top of the car, Moose was having a heyday. He was like, everywhere, just all over, inside the console, everywhere. At 5 o'clock that night, I think I've got a picture, a video of that. I'll have to send it to you. But he was still had the zoomies. I mean, he was like running around, and this was like 5, 6 o'clock at nighttime, and that was going on at like 6:30 in the morning when I went there. But again, that caffeine, same as us. What happens when we have a lot of coffee? Our heart starts to race. We get elevated heart rates. It can even lead to vomiting and seizures. So these are all things that we just don't think about. Uncooked potatoes, bread dough. Jessica, do you know what the main reason that bread dough can be so toxic? Do you know this? Go
Hmm.
ahead. What is
It
it?
goes into their little belly and it cooks up a little bit and it bubbles up and it makes alcohol.
That's
and,
true.
and
It
can you
can-
tell Bruce is
and
really with me?
And Brutus agrees to that because the rising dough, when it goes into their systems, it it rises and it causes alcohol and produces alcohol, and it can lead to alcoholic poisoning. our dogs are going at it today because I've got Frank in the background with one of his squeakies, and we've got Brutus there too. So, just keep them away from
Losing
pets.
your
And it's
mind.
so, well, it's so tempting just to throw, some food their way.
A
And,
piece of,
a lot of people,
yeah.
a lot of people will do that, but turkey is safe, like the lean turkey, and think about things in moderation. If you're giving like a micro little bite of a lean turkey breast or something like that, that's different than going, hey, just giving them a ton of that too. So it's really important to think about that too. And, or when you put your plate down, oh, I'm just going to let them lick off the plate. Think about the gravy, think about the sodium, think about all those things that are on your plate that are going to lead to, high fat, high sodium, and just all kinds of things.
Well, I was going to say, also think about this because this is what people also forget about is like, the holidays, because we're going into the holidays, season, and what you're like, oh, it's Thanksgiving, and during Thanksgiving, everybody's feeding them off their plates, they're letting them lick. Yep, yep, I have one this morning too. And you're letting them lick off the plates, and then we do it again at Christmas time and all the parties that we're having, Then in January, in the middle of January, we're yelling at the dog because they're begging.
Oh yeah,
But you just,
absolutely.
yeah, but you just taught it that it's okay because you keep giving them the plate. You know what I mean? You're saying it's okay and you're feeding them from the table. You know what I mean? Saying
Right.
it's okay because, oh, it's the holiday. A dog cannot register that it's okay on Thanksgiving and through the holidays to be fed from the table. But in January, it's not okay. You know what I mean? So
Right.
you got to remember that. It's one of the things that
I
in our household, if he gets to have a piece of turkey, it comes off of our plate and it goes into his bowl in the kitchen where he's fed. So it never
right.
comes from the table. So that's something to be
I
mindful of too.
I am the worst dog owner ever. I will admit that openly. I have no training. I have no manners. I have whatever you want. You want to sit at the table, let me get you a napkin and a fork and a knife. Because I will feed from the table. I do that. And then, it's like, no, get down. And it's like, but I created that monster, Tricia Montgomery. So what is your problem? And then every time I
Nope,
get a
nope.
dog, I'm like, I'm gonna be this like, whip person, and like not whip person, but I'm gonna like be hard nosed and say no, and you're not allowed to do this. And it's like I keep going to the same side of the boat. I keep doing it over and over again, and so there's no one to blame but me. So
I know. We had that conversation this morning. You're like, why is Brutus so good? And I'm like, because we made him that way.
well, I went to
Why does
puppy
he do
training. I went to
that?
puppy
So did
training.
I.
I
So
went
did
to all those
I.
training classes, but I think it was a follow through for me. I'm probably your typical dog mom. That I'm one of those people that just go, I, I just whatever you want to do, it's okay. I'm a helicopter mom, but I am not one of those people that enforce the law here. If your
Oh yeah,
pet
no.
eats something harmful, what are some things that you need to look out for, Jessica? If what are some signs that your pet has ingested something that may not be feeling that great?
Well, definitely vomiting. That's a number
Yeah,
one
yeah,
sign. Yeah, lethargia, open their mouth, check their teeth, you know what I mean, their gum
yeah.
area. If it's
Gums.
not bright pink, you know what I mean? Yeah, if
Mm-hmm.
they look like a dull pink, gray, or white, get them into the ER immediately because they're dehydrated. And so whatever's going on is causing all the water to go wherever it is. It's not good. Panting, if they're just sitting there panting, that they're in distress. That's a new one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Because a lot of people think that they're hot. They're not hot. They're in distress. You know what I mean? Because they're not just panting for the heck of it.
Yeah.
That's a signal. I mean, if they start, just acting different. Like if your dog is a foodie, like we have two foodies. Like Brutus is constantly looking for food in my house, even though we feed him all the time. You know what I mean? He's a good shaped dog, but he's always looking for food. If he decides to skip a meal, there is something wrong. You know what I mean? Like there's something wrong.
Right.
So keep an eye out for that. You know, if some those signals are missing, so just keep an eye out. You know, things like that. And you know, it's if it's okay. And I know this is hard to hear, especially for moms like Trisha. And I'm not saying that's bad or anything, but it is okay that if your dog has ingested something, like if he got a little too much of like sugar, or not sugar, but like, you know, he just ate too much salt or something and it's kind of really upset their tummy, it is okay to skip a meal. You know, so that way we can flush everything out, let him just get things out. And I know Trisha's really hard to hear for her because she just thinks that she's starving her dog to death. But you kind of got to give
I
his
think you're
body
referencing
rest.
this morning. I think you're referencing this morning, if I remember correctly.
Not really, but yeah, you just got to let his system calm down, because if you keep feeding the system, you're upsetting the system. You know what I mean? So it's
You are.
okay. Yeah, it's okay if you feed your dog twice a day to skip the morning and let everything get out of him so it calms
Yeah.
down. I mean,
Yeah.
they're not gonna starve to death. You know what I mean? Just think about it. When we have the flu and our stomach's upset, the last thing you want to do is eat. You might be
Yeah.
hungry, but anytime you put something in it, it just comes right out and you get upset with yourself. They can't tell you that. So just think of that way. You know what I mean? You know, it is okay. You know what I mean? Just think, and then bland, you know, chicken and rice, boiled hamburger, so you boil the fat out of it. You know, boiled chicken, ground chicken, so you boil the fat out of it. You want it plain. You know what I mean? If you want him to drink and you're like, how do I get him to drink water? Throw some beef broth in the water because that will entice them to drink it. Those are some of the things that you can do to get them to get rehydrated and stuff like that. You know, those are some great tips and
Yeah,
tricks.
definitely so. And I think something important to note, and that's Frank in the background. I turned my mic off, but I think important to note that veterinarians may not be open on Thanksgiving, and that may be when when the emergency occurs, and going to the emergency veterinarian is super super expensive. And know that there are tremendous telehealth services out there, everything from
Yeah.
I think Farm Yard, Televet, they have televet services available. And I will tell you, as someone who has used the Farm and Yard Televet service before, I will say thank you, because answering the calls within, really within three minutes of and just responding immediately, and having that camera and looking at the animal and realizing, hey, this is a triage case. This is something that, because I think there are people that, like me, that may panic or be a helicopter, because I will openly admit to both of those, that I am going to, really think, I've got to get this taken care of immediately. I'm the one who will run to the emergency veterinary clinic immediately. But having that televet service is really advantageous to us and for us, that you can connect immediately to a veterinarian. So just know that might be something to consider as well. And so there's a ton of great televet services out there. And checking with the veterinarian if you are concerned that they have ingested something. Like Jessica says, just watch them, make sure they're okay. It is okay to skip a meal. I think preventive is always the best measure, and that's keeping the food away from the pets. Avoid giving table scraps. Laying down guidelines and boundaries to your family, to your friends who may come over, not to feed, although it is so tempting. They look up at you and they've got those eyes on you, and not to feed the pets, and provide pet-friendly treats, and make your home as pet safe as possible, and the meal to celebrate the holiday. And so, think about things that you can do. You can go ahead and plan for this. You can cook unseasoned turkey, green beans, mashed potato or sweet potatoes, maybe throw in some apples and carrots and peas and unsweetened pumpkin. Put that together, or have them on the side or whatever. And so if somebody really wants to feed and have that available, go ahead and let them feed, but make it healthy. Do the green beans. Make sure they're not seasoned. Give them a little bit of sweet potatoes, a little bit of apples, and that good cooked turkey without the seasoning. They're all fantastic options, and that way we are including our pets in this great celebration of giving thanks. And, think about a crate in the other room, just any of those other options that would be available to us. But again, we want to always include, pets are family. Pets are family. And Thanksgiving is our jam, my jam. It's one of my favorite holidays of the year, besides Christmas. But it's really a special holiday, and it's a time for all gathering together, and it surrounds a big meal. And we want to include our pets, but we want to make sure we're including them in the right way.
Exactly. I
Yeah,
can't agree with that 100% more, but just
yeah.
remember, we create our own monsters. I keep telling everybody that, we all create our own
We
monsters, but I'm
do.
going to tell
It's
you,
hard.
I'm just going to tell you, my aunt is way worse than you. I love you, Aunt
Okay,
Sue,
good.
but my aunt, I remember sitting with my aunt. My aunt is probably a bigger animal lover than both of us together, which is
Oh my
impossible.
God.
But she has her dogs. I remember when I was sitting at her kitchen table, we were all eating, or the dining room table, and we were all eating, and she had a greyhound. She had adopted a greyhound, and she fed from the table all the time. She would just be like, fork, and do this, like this. She had a greyhound that would lean on her so bad that she would be half out of her chair. It would be half in her chair. And she'd be like, as I'm going out of
Oh.
the screen, this would be her. And she'd be like this. I mean, so it was like half, she would be half like in the chair, half, and the animal, and then she'd have another dog. She had a lab that was doing the same thing on this side of her. And so she would just like, she would be like shrinking out of the table, and the dogs were taking over. And I'm like,
It would be a
I'm looking at her
sandwich.
going, yeah, I'm looking at her going, dude, I'm like, get them out. I mean, like, I love animals and stuff, but that's your chair. I mean, they're like working their way right into her chair, and she's like she's the dog halfway on the floor. I'm like, my aunt isn't sticking.
It's the
Yeah,
same thing as our beds. I think this morning I woke up and Frank's like paw was in my head, and I'm like, "Can you move your leg? Can you move your paw away from my face?" I appreciate that. Usually
yeah,
people wake up with sleep. The pillowcase sheets on their face. I don't get a paw print on my face. So,
yep. Nope.
oh, anyway, Jessica, we're saying happy
Well,
Thanksgiving to our audience, and wow, what a year it has been. We're winding things up here. For the Thanksgiving holiday, and thankful for you guys, for our listening audience. You have been with us for almost a little over 2 years, almost 2 years now, and
oh, it'll
what a
be
journey
almost
it's
2 years.
been. Yeah, what a journey it's been, and we are so thankful we have the best listening audience. We love hearing your comments and hearing from you, and thank you guys so much. And we want to thank all those other people that have been around us this year, all the sponsors, all the people and the friends that have surrounded us, and the great guests, and it's going to continue through the holidays. So giving a shout out to our friends over at Farm and Yard, saying hello to them, and thank you for all your support that you've given to us over this past year. We really are appreciative of you and all you're doing for us. And yeah, just it's been a year. I can't wait to see you after the holidays, after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, well, I want to say happy Thanksgiving to everybody. And my shout out is to Justin, just because he's been with us for a year now. And thank you for always fixing us. Thank you for always like
Filter.
editing all the fun stuff. Yeah, filter. Thank you for that. Thank you for fixing the bloopers, my swearing. Thank you for
My
all of that.
singing.
Thank yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that poor kid, he does all kinds of things. So we're very thankful for you, Justin. And we're thankful for our audience and everything else. So, and I'm thankful for you, Trish. So, I'm thankful for our everybody. So we will see you guys
Yeah.
after Thanksgiving. And I can't
Wait a
wait to
minute.
see
Wait a
what's
minute. Isn't
what.
Justin going in the armed services? Isn't he going in some kind of, what is he going into? Isn't he?
Sometime in 25. Yeah, yeah, he
Okay.
said in
Okay.
25, sometime in 25. So
Okay.
I think
And
it's
shout out
March
to our
or April.
military. Shout out to those serving in the military, and shout out to you guys as well. If we have anybody serving
Right,
in
right.
that is listening in to us, we're giving you a beautiful shout out and thank you for all you do. And Justin, yeah, you're going to be heading, out and doing some great things for our country next year. That blessings.
Yep. So, so, yep. So, everybody have a great Thanksgiving. You know what I mean? Just remember to hug your loved ones. You never know how much time you have left with them. That's what I always think about. You know what I mean? So enjoy. I'm going to be, I got out of Thanksgiving this year. So I'm looking forward to having Thanksgiving cooked for me this year. It's going to be fun. So other
Awesome.
than that, everybody have a great Thanksgiving. We'll see you afterwards. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Pets Are Family. You can find us on all the channels now. Yes, all of the channels now. So make sure you share us with your friends, your families, and your coworkers, and anybody that has a pet. Make sure you like us, give us your feedback, tell us if anything that you want us to talk about, all that fun stuff. You can reach me at Jessica at petsourfamily.net or Tricia at petsourfamily.net. Thank you for everything that you guys do, but make sure you like us, subscribe, check us out on YouTube. You can always see what we're up to. And we want to thank all of our sponsors, all of the people that support us. We love every one of you, and we can't thank you enough. And remember, check out Moose's March, moosesmarch.com, moosesmarch.com. Come check us out. Talk to you guys soon. We'll see you next week. Bye.